and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be doing a foundation smackdown / review because there is a brand new foundation out there that I wanted to get my hands on because of its radiant properties. If you don't know what I am referring to, it is this foundation right here from Maybelline. This is the new Dream Radiant Liquid Foundation, and this is supposed to have lots of great hydrating properties. It contains hyaluronic acid as well as collagen, and allegedly, if you use this over time, it will improve the overall texture of your skin. This is a medium coverage foundation. On the back of the bottle it says it's not supposed to clog your pores and it's dermatologist tested. I am really excited to try out this foundation, especially because I loved the other foundation that Maybelline had come out with. This is the Dream Urban Cover Foundation, and I believe this launched this past spring or summer, somewhere around that period of time, and I think it is wonderful. It provides great coverage, it has a natural finish on your skin, and it wears really well throughout the day. And I actually believe this foundation here is an amazing dupe for the Pat McGrath foundation. I'm not going to do that much more rambling. Instead, I am going to bring you in a little bit closer and we are going to get this foundation on my face. I have gone ahead and primed my skin already, and I did use the Dior Backstage primer. I've had this on my skin for about 5 minutes now. I really wanted to give it a little bit of time to absorb. I find that's the best way to actually use this particular primer. And now that my skin is primed and ready to go, we are going to go ahead and apply this foundation here. I am going to be using a beauty blender. That is always my preferred method of application. If you've been on my channel for a while, I hate applying foundation with a brush, although funny enough, years and years ago, that was the only way I would apply foundation, but for whatever reason, the beauty blender has really changed my game. In terms of the packaging, this is a glass bottle, so not plastic like the other foundation. It does have a pump, which is delightful, and it actually squirts out immediately, which I wasn't expecting. It normally takes a couple of pumps before you can get foundation out. But that aside, let's go ahead and get this foundation on my skin. That is one pump of foundation on my skin, and I do believe this is true to what the package says. It is medium coverage. I'd say even borderlining a light coverage, just because I do still have quite a bit of redness peeking through, and I can certainly see that, and hopefully you guys can see that when you compare it to the other side of my face, which is completely bare at the moment. I think I'm going to try building this up. I don't really want to use any concealer today because I just want to see how the foundation is going to perform on its own. So I'm going to take another half pump, and I am noticing that the foundation is also a bit on the thick side, which actually gives me hope that it is going to be a long-lasting foundation. Let's go ahead and build that up. And one of the things that I've been doing lately that I find gives me a better foundation application with the beauty blender is to sort of blend out a little bit of the excess product on my hand before I start applying it to my skin. And that way it doesn't look super cakey or heavy when it goes on my skin. It just looks a lot lighter and more fresh. Let's go in to the areas that need a little bit of extra help. And I think that is certainly doing the trick. I do think that looks a lot better. It built up quite nicely without looking cakey on my skin. And I don't know if I would say this is entirely a radiant finish right now. I'd say it's still pretty natural, a very similar to finish what this foundation gives me. So, we'll see how it goes throughout the day. But right now, I am really liking the way it is looking. Hopefully you guys can see it's not clinging to any dry patches on my skin. It just applied really nicely, very easy to blend out. Zero issues so far. And if you are wondering, I should probably mention that I am using the same color in both foundations, so it's Classic Ivory. Shaking up the other foundation really quickly. I'm gonna add just a little bit to the back of my hand because I'm only covering half my face. I am just gonna go in with the same beauty blender. I don't think it's gonna do anything differently to this foundation and this side of my face, so, you know, we'll work with it. Now that I have the other foundation on this side of my face, I am noticing that the Dream Urban Cover, this one over here on this side, has a lot more coverage than the Radiant Finish side, so this foundation. And I can definitely see it, especially in my cheek area. Even though I did go ahead and build up the foundation here, there is a tiny bit of redness peeking through. I'm not sure if this is translating really well on camera, but I can certainly see it in person in my handheld mirror. And it's not a bad thing. I mean, I do like how my skin just comes through on this side a little bit more. This certainly does have a little more coverage. I mean, the finish is still more of a natural finish or a satin. It's not entirely matte. It still has a bit of a glow to it. I think that's the same on both sides, but it looks good. I mean, on both sides, I'm not mad at what I'm seeing right now. I've just come in a little bit closer so you guys can see what I'm seeing. Hopefully it's translating on camera. Definitely this side of my face over here is looking more full coverage. I think you can also tell that I have foundation on that side, whereas this side definitely looks a little more natural. I mean, I'm still wearing makeup, but my skin is coming through a little bit more. I'm now gonna go ahead and finish off the rest of my face on camera. I'm gonna powder down, add a little bit of eye makeup, and I will be right back. So the rest of my makeup is now on. I thought I would do something really simple with my eyes, but it turns out I went glittery. I can't help myself. But I thought I'd come out in natural light so you guys can see what both sides of my face are looking like before I go back into studio lighting, which I know can always alter the way a foundation looks. Whew, it is bloody cold out here. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom you in a little bit and hopefully I am in focus. That is what my forehead is looking like. On this side over here, we have the old Dream Urban Cover foundation, and on this side we have the new Radiant foundation. And on the Radiant side in particular, I think it is looking really, really good. My skin is looking like skin. And actually when I compare it to the other side, which doesn't look bad, it just looks really cakey. And now that I've gone ahead and applied all of my powders, I can definitely see that a lot more on this side over here. Again, not necessarily a bad thing. I'm gonna go right into the sunlight now. Oh, it is blinding. But again, this is what my face is looking like. Overall, I'm not mad at how this whole look has turned out. I'm not mad at either of the foundations at the moment. I am going to wear this on my face for a few hours, see how things go, and then I'm gonna check back in with you. But just before I sign off, let me just show you what it looks like outside in my backyard. So all the leaves from the tree are gone. Most trees actually. I got snow everywhere, although it is starting to melt a little bit as you guys can see, but yeah, it is still freaking cold. Okay, I'm gonna run back inside and I'll see you in a minute. Surprise! It's me again. I wasn't gonna check in for a few hours, but I did want to come inside and actually show you what the foundation looks like under studio lights. I don't know if anyone is interested in seeing that or if you prefer seeing it in natural light, but regardless, we're here, I'm gonna do it. So let me zoom you in. So here we are zoomed in, and again, as a reminder, this is the side with the Urban Cover, so the old foundation, and this is the side with the Radiant foundation, or the new one. And as you guys can see, this side over here, the foundation does look a little bit cakey. It is kind of grabbing onto some dry patches at the moment that I wasn't seeing earlier, but hopefully that'll change, and I'm confident that it will. And then on this side, my skin is looking a lot more natural, I think. So my skin is still shining through despite having a lot of powders on. But overall, I think my face is looking pretty good. I am certainly excited to see how everything is gonna look in a couple of hours, at which point I'm gonna check in and we're just gonna revisit this whole thing together. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Hey guys, this is the first and final check-in of the night. The whole day basically just got away from me. It is a holiday here in Canada. I was being super lazy amongst cleaning and doing a little bit of laundry, so I guess I really wasn't being that lazy. But anyhow, you're here to find out if both of these foundations held up, in particular how the new Radiant foundation held up against the Dream Urban Cover. Alright, so from what I'm seeing, and if I'm looking at the camera head on, this side of my face, which is the Dream Urban Cover foundation, definitely has a lot more coverage. I think it still looks really, really good. It's not super oily or as oily as I would have expected it to have gotten throughout the day. Around my nose area, we do have a couple of issues. The first one is just around my nostrils. I did blow my nose, so that's why some of the foundation is missing from there. So that is user error on my part. But I am noticing a shift in the foundation up here where my glasses pads normally sit. And yes, of course, I've been wearing my glasses throughout the day. I'd be blind otherwise. It didn't really sit well under my glasses. However, the rest of my face is looking pretty good, and as I predicted, the dryness or cakiness that seemed to be happening on this side is now all gone because I feel like the foundation has really meshed well with my oils. Now, if we move over to this side of my face, which is where the Radiant foundation is, I think it's sitting really well too. Now, of course, there is that big difference in terms of coverage, so I am going to say that there is a little more redness peeking through just over in this area here in general. But aside from that, I think things are still looking pretty good. Similar to this side, I don't think the foundation survived very well around my glasses. The foundation has caked up a little bit around my nose area, but it hasn't clung to any dry patches. I think it still looks pretty darn good, and if I'm looking at my viewfinder, I think it's still looking okay on camera. And if I bring you in a little bit closer, there is my forehead looking good. This is the nose area that I was talking about where we had a little bit of an issue. Cheek is looking good, lip, chin, all of that is looking good. And then there's the other side. So again, same issue over here around my nose. I did put my hair up just because it's really hot in this room with all of the studio lights on me. But before I wrap up this video and give you my final thoughts, I do want to go over the foundation with a beauty blender to see how well I can make it reset. So if we just go around the new Radiant side, just a smidge. So basically absorb some of the excess oil and reposition the foundation around those problematic areas, in particular my nose. I actually think that reset beautifully. Oh my goodness. It still gives me a beautiful shine, so I have a nice satin finish of foundation. Having done that though, some of the foundation around my nose has definitely disappeared. I feel like there's a huge patch around my nose that is just completely exposed now, and same just along this area of my face over here. But aside from that, I think it looks really great when it's reset. And then just to even things out, we're gonna do the other side as well. I have a missing patch of foundation on my nose similar to the other side, so I guess my nose is just a problematic area where this foundation is just not really gonna work, especially if I'm wearing my glasses. But the rest of my face seems to have set beautifully, and it is certainly a little more matte on this side now that I've just pounced around my beauty blender than this side over here. I feel like I still have a little bit more of a glow on this side as opposed to this side. Overall, I'm really happy with the results of this foundation, Smackdown. I think both foundations ended up working really well with my oily skin. The Dream Urban Cover foundation performed exactly the way I thought it would. I really, really love it. And now for the Dream Radiant Liquid Foundation. I really enjoyed this product. I think it wore quite well on my skin. I didn't have any issues with application. I didn't have any issues with wear time. I do think, just like the other foundation, it's not going to survive really well on your nose, especially if you do wear glasses. I think it is a foundation that people with oily skin can wear. Hello, I am a prime example of that. But if you don't like any radiance at all or any sort of shine, I would probably steer away from this because this does have more of a satin slash natural finish. So it's not going to be entirely matte on your skin. But if you are on the oily side and you do want to give this a whirl, if you powder it down adequately, I think you can get a good long wear time with this. This new foundation doesn't match the kind of coverage that this foundation here can give you, which is okay. Not everybody is going to want full coverage foundation. For myself, I think it did cover up my redness adequately. I wasn't disappointed with it, but it is a foundation that I am going to have to build up. And I think in the future, I am going to use some concealer underneath just before I apply that foundation so I can make sure I have nice even coverage around my most red areas. I'm really happy with both of these foundations, and I am definitely pleasantly impressed with the way this one performed. And now I'm going to turn the floor over to you because I want to hear all of your thoughts. What did you think of the foundation Smackdown? Which side did you prefer more? And also let me know if you have had a chance to try out this foundation. How did it perform on you? What did it feel like? What are your thoughts? Alright guys, that is gonna do it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed the foundation Smackdown. If you did, you know what I'm gonna ask next. Do give the video a big thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. If you want to keep up with me outside of YouTube, you guys are always welcome to do that by following me on all of my social media, which I'm gonna link for you in the description box below. Thank you again so much for watching, guys. I hope you are all having an amazing day no matter where you are in the world. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!